Welcome back to the Journalistic Revolution. My name is Matthew Dalton.
And I'm Robert Wasmund. In this segment, we're going to talk about faith and the freedom movement. One of the things that I've been noticing with certain voluntarists, libertarians, and anarcho-capitalists is they're trying to say that having faith in a religion and being a libertarian is just not compatible.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I understand the semi-logic or the pseudo-logic that some of you use for that, saying that, well, if you believe in autonomy and you believe in free will and free markets, how could you become a slave to a religion? Not to put down anti-theists or anything, but if you aren't a part of religion, how can you dare to assume what it says or what it doesn't say?
And how can you assume that it isn't our free will to be a part of that religion?
I mean, well, it's simple as this, okay? Ron Paul was a Christian, or is a Christian. Rand Paul states he's a Christian. I, myself, am a Christian.
Lou
Rockwell's a Christian. Chuck Baldwin is a Christian. And then I even have Muslim friends in the liberty movement. And then I even have atheist friends, anti-theist friends.
I'm sure there's even some Jews in there. I've never met one, but that doesn't mean they aren't. Maybe they just don't talk about it. Much like I really don't talk much about my Christian faith within the movement.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day I was actually having a debate with a friend of his, and we were talking about how Christ preaches the non-aggression principle. And she tried to tell me, because it's not in the Bible, that it isn't, it simply isn't true. But then I was all like, well, again, context is king. If you look at Christ and his teachings, I mean, he taught that we're supposed to love our enemies. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to hold them in the same regard as we love our neighbors, which is a very non-aggression principle, if you ask me. Also, healed the ear of a Roman soldier who was there to arrest him when Peter chopped it off. He also told his disciples that he who does not own a sword should sell his garment and buy one, when telling them to go out and preach the gospel. He was talking about how people will try to attack them and try to kill them, which is self-defense. Which, again, the non-aggression principle says the only time you're allowed to get violent is when someone has already initiated violence against you. And then she went on to say, yeah, but Christ whipped the tax payer, or the taxers, and the money changers in the temple. And I have to admit, for a moment there, I was like, wait, man, maybe Christ doesn't really preach the non-aggression principle. But if you were to Google who Christ is in Christianity right now, the large assumption is that Christ was God. So if Christ was God and the temple is his home and his house, he was in his own home, these people were trespassing. They violated the non-aggression principle and violated his property rights. So basically what we're saying, guys, is this is another part of that division that we discussed. Oh, you're a Christian. You possibly can't understand what freedom and liberty is.
Let me make my argument. And as a person who believes in free will, and I don't believe that we are predestined, I believe that, you know, we all make our own choices through the free will that God gave us. I use that argument when talking with other Christians to try to lead them to the same principles as liberty. That God's free will is his free will. We can't make laws to undo what he has given. So if I believe that I have absolute free will, I mean, as an atheist, you have the choice not to believe. That's your free will.
But we both agree on natural-born rights.
So, you know, you can have faith and be in the liberty movement, and to say that other people don't belong, or they're crazy religionists, or whatever the case is, stop making fun of us. Talk about disenfranchising people.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, and to all the Christians who are saying, how can you be an atheist and be in the liberty movement? They're God-given rights. How can you be, you know, how can you defend God-given rights if you don't believe in a God? They're natural-born rights.
Yeah,
you're born with an inherent nature to these things. You have the nature of self-defense. You have the nature to your property and the works of your labor. You have the nature of community and deciding how you guys want to rule yourselves.
And that's even laid out in the Constitution: freedom of religion, Freedom to not have religion.
These people that I'm seeing, the ones that I'm really trying to focus this towards, and I really hope you're watching, is you are turning into the very tyrants that you claim to be against by attacking Christianity or Muslims or any faith for that matter.
Or Christians in reverse attacking atheists.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean, you're becoming the tyrant because let's say there's been a couple. I've actually spoken to a couple people who are anti-theists, not atheists, who said that, and I quote, if we just got rid of all the Christians, there wouldn't be a problem anymore. Okay, wasn't that the same damn thing Hitler thought with the Jews? If we just got rid of them, there would be a purity of life. I mean, what? I mean, seriously.
And we're not suggesting the anti-theists are saying we need to have genocide on Christians.
But I mean, I can reasonably draw that conclusion if you're saying that if the world would be better off. So you're telling me if you were in power, you would make a law against Christianity?
How's that non-aggression?
How is that libertarian at all? What would you do then? If, let's say you were in power. Let's say that you were the president. What are you going to do? Start exterminating Christians, Muslims, Jews, and anybody who believes in anything other than nothing or science? I mean, I'm a Christian, and I love science. I mean, I love it. I think that Einstein said it best, that religion without science is lame, and science without religion is blind. I truly believe that. How are you going to promote freedom and liberty, but then insult those who have made a decision to believe in something? That's my argument. I do not insult atheists. I don't try to convert you. I don't try to insult you. I don't try to say that you're wrong. Because as a logical Christian, an iconoclast even, I have to understand there's a chance I'm wrong. That's where faith comes in. I understand that there is a chance I am wrong. But you're infallible? And then here's another argument that I've been hearing. They're like, oh, well, you trust this book and you trust these teachings, but it was written by man and man is fallible. What the hell is science? How many times has science been wrong? I mean, at one point, the sun rotated around us. At another point, we were the center of the universe. At another point,
the earth was flat.
Well, that historically, no one ever actually believed that. But, I mean, all of these things that science has said, this is the way it is. I mean, just look at quantum physics and black hole theories nowadays. I mean, we had Einstein's theory of black holes, and then you had Stephen Hawking's, and then Carl Sagan comes in and says that both of them were wrong, and now quantum physics are saying they're all wrong. You see what I'm saying? It's a constantly changing thing, and your beliefs in science have to change according to the information that you're getting. And for you to claim that you are absolutely 100% correct is not only arrogant, but absolutely illogical. And now this is where a lot of you right now are going, yeah, but Christianity has started all these wars. Religion kills all these people. No. Not one war in history, I can say with utter confidence, was ever about religion or belief. It has been and will always be about power and control. Have those people who were in power and wanted to control the people use religions to get to that said control? Yeah. But they use the economy too.
And what if theism didn't exist? Those same people still would have wanted power and control and would have found a way to start those wars.
A religion, a belief, has never killed anyone. If anything, it's only killed themselves because someone believed in something so greatly that they were willing to lay down their lives. Kind of like our founders. We pledge our lives, fortunes, and sacred honors to each other to achieve freedom. But you're not pledging anything to me. What you're pledging is that once we get freedom, you're going to try to eradicate my beliefs. I'm going to try and sum this up. Atheists, I love you. You guys are awesome. You're very scientific, you're very knowledgeable, and I love having debates with you.
And for the most part, you do your part in spreading the message of liberty and freedom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Christians, I love you guys. You guys are awesome, because, not only do you share my faith, but you share my belief in freedom and liberty. Stop trying to push your beliefs on atheists. Atheists, stop trying to push your beliefs on Christians.
Yeah.
I not once. If you're a Christian, meaning that you follow the teachings of Christ, not once did Christ ever push his beliefs on someone else.
I think that I've come to this point where I won't push anything. I won't tell anybody what they need to hear. But if somebody sees the way I live my life and they want to hear my story and they ask why, I'm going to tell them.
Absolutely.
And then it's up to them, through their free will alone, to make a choice whether to follow my same beliefs or just take the story for what it is to me, a story, and not to float my own boat with arrogance, but I think I've overcome quite a bit in my life.
Now, I want to end it with this quote, okay? And I love this quote, and I forget who it's by, but it's, I believe full-heartedly that God prefers the honest questions of a non-believer than the lying lips of a Christian.
Check out Chuck Baldwin if you're anti-theist or atheist, and you can get a really, really good view on how a man of faith sees liberty and freedom. One of my favorite videos of him is the speech that he gave at Paul Fest.
Looking at a guy who would rather vote for an unbeliever who will protect, support, and defend the Constitution of the United States than to vote for a believer who will not support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That's all we're saying is it's better that we stand side by side.
That's the ultimate message here, guys, is let's stop bickering, which we've talked about the discussions of the division because of big L libertarians, little L libertarians, and now we're trying to get to the faith-based part. Just stop hating on each other, guys. That's my request to all of you is stop hating each other.
Last time I checked, revolution was spelled with love.
And stay tuned for the next episode.
So I'm saying